The mask we wear, why first impressions are just representatives. I want to start by thanking someone who completely transformed my understanding of human connection. Tiffany Hill, a visionary who's been quietly revolutionizing how Black professionals navigate authenticity in spaces not designed for them. This woman has empowered thousands of entrepreneurs to step fully into their power, their truth, their whole selves. Her work has literally saved careers, built generational wealth, and healed professional trauma for countless Black professionals who are trying to contort themselves into shapes that were never meant to hold them. What she shared with me was so profound, I knew it needed to reach beyond our conversation. Have you ever had that moment when something so obvious hits you so hard that you wonder how you missed it your entire life? That's exactly what happened during my conversation with Tiffany. Here's the insight that stopped me in my tracks. When you first meet someone, whether in business or your personal life, you're not meeting the real them, you're meeting their representative. Let that sink in for a moment. You're meeting the version they've carefully crafted for you to like, to trust, maybe even to fall for. The polished, edited version designed to make a specific impression. And guess what? You're sending your representative too. This isn't necessarily deception, it's human nature. We all do it, but as time passes and comfort grows, the real person gradually steps out from behind that mask. And that's when the real relationship, personal or professional, actually begins. It makes you question everything, doesn't it? How much of what we call chemistry or fit is just us vibing with someone's best performance? How many opportunities have we missed because we judged too quickly? How many relationships have we entered based on interactions with someone's highlight reel rather than their authentic self? This perspective alone can completely transform how we approach new relationships. And for Black professionals and entrepreneurs, especially, understanding this dynamic isn't just insightful, it's essential for survival. Tiffany shared three key insights that can revolutionize how we navigate professional spaces. First impressions are curated. People present versions of themselves tailored to impress or gain acceptance. This means we shouldn't make significant decisions based solely on those early interactions. The person who dazzles in the interview might struggle with consistent performance. The client who seems difficult in your first meeting might become your most loyal advocate once trust is established. Second, authenticity takes time to emerge. True character, whether it's a business partner, employee, client, or even a friend, only reveals itself after trust and comfort develop. This requires patience and creating spaces where people feel safe enough to lower their guard. Third, and perhaps most importantly, your own representative matters too. We must become aware of who we send into the room. Are we showing up as our authentic selves or just our highlight reel? That self awareness can shape stronger connections and more genuine partnerships. For Black professionals navigating predominantly white spaces, this awareness becomes even more critical. The pressure to send a perfect representative is exhausting. Code switching, tone policing, carefully managing every aspect of self presentation. It's a tax on mental and emotional resources that others may never have to pay. Let me share some powerful examples that illustrate this principle in action. Kimberly Ellison Taylor's journey in accounting exemplifies the power of sustained authenticity. Early in her career, she faced environments where expectations were shaped by stereotypes and surface level impressions. The representative she was expected to send into the room often didn't align with her authentic self. Rather than conforming, she focused on consistent authenticity over time. Even when initial reactions were skeptical, she built credibility by letting her true skills shine once people moved past their assumptions. Growing up facing adversity taught Ellison Taylor resilience. She learned early not to let others' first impressions define her trajectory. She eventually became chair of the American Institute of CPAs, making history as both its youngest chairperson and its first African American leader. Her journey inspired organizations nationwide to rethink how they assess talent beyond initial encounters and encouraged young Black professionals to embrace their full selves at work. As Tiffany would say, your representative gets you in the door, your authentic self builds the house. Another powerful example comes from Morgan DeBaun, founder of Blavity Inc. The startup world often expected Blavity's founders to fit mainstream tech stereotypes, a pressure felt especially strongly during investor pitches where the representative was almost required just to get funding. Instead of conforming, DeBaun leaned into transparency about both successes and struggles. The company prioritized hiring staff whose lived experiences matched their audience, not just polished resumes, and encouraged employees' real voices online and offline. The result? Blavity grew into a multi platform powerhouse, reaching millions monthly because audiences connected with unfiltered content over manufactured personas. DeBon started Blavity after noticing mainstream media didn't reflect her reality or those around her at Howard University and wanted something genuinely reflective rather than performative representation. Blavity secured major investments while maintaining editorial independence and launched the Afro Tech Conference, connecting thousands of Black tech innovators yearly. They redefine what authentic leadership looks like for millennial entrepreneurs and set new standards for culturally relevant content creation. Perhaps one of the most compelling examples comes from Tristan Walker, founder and CEO of Walker and Company Brands. Walker launched Bevel targeting grooming products specifically designed for men with coarse or curly hair, a market ignored by mainstream brands until then. Walker faced immense skepticism from investors who didn't initially believe there was demand outside generic mass market products. The representatives he met doubted his vision because they couldn't see beyond their own perspectives. He spent years educating stakeholders about untapped needs within communities often overlooked due to surface level assumptions. His persistence paid off when customers responded enthusiastically once his team showed up authentically in branding and messaging. Bevel quickly gained traction among consumers craving honest solutions made for them, not at them, and eventually led to Procter and Gamble acquiring Walker and Company brands for millions. Walker left Silicon Valley jobs frustrated with being seen only through stereotypical lenses rather than his full expertise and passion as an innovator. These stories illuminate a profound truth. The power of authenticity unfolds over time. It's not about the representative you send into the first meeting. It's about who shows up consistently day after day when the spotlight dims and the real work begins. This insight challenges conventional wisdom about first impressions. We're often told you never get a second chance to make a first impression. But what if that's not the whole story? What if the most meaningful connections, the ones that lead to breakthrough innovations, transformative partnerships, and lasting impact actually begin after the first impression fades. For Black professionals navigating spaces where they're underrepresented, this perspective offers both challenge and liberation. The challenge lies in persisting beyond initial judgments that may be clouded by bias. The liberation comes from knowing that authentic value eventually speaks for itself. As Tiffany Hill eloquently puts it, in a world obsessed with instant everything, remember that authenticity is the one thing that can't be rushed. This doesn't mean we should abandon thoughtfulness about how we present ourselves. Rather, it invites us to align our representatives more closely with our authentic selves, to reduce the gap between who we appear to be and who we truly are. For organizations, this insight demands patience in evaluation and judgment. It requires creating environments where people feel safe enough to move beyond their representatives. It means recognizing that diversity efforts fail when they focus on bringing in different faces, but expect them to send the same representatives as everyone else. The most innovative teams, the most resilient organizations, the most transformative movements. These don't emerge from rooms full of representatives. They come from spaces where people feel safe enough to bring their full, authentic selves to the table. So I challenge you today, examine the representatives you send into the world. Are they close approximations of your authentic self, or elaborate performances designed to please others at the expense of your soul? What would happen if you gradually allowed more of your true self to emerge in your professional spaces? And when you meet someone new, remember you're meeting their representative. Give them the grace, time, and safety to reveal who they truly are. The magic in business and in life happens when representatives step aside and real humans connect. This isn't just about being more authentic for authenticity's sake. This is about creating a world where people don't have to exhaust themselves maintaining facades. It's about building organizations where innovation thrives because diverse perspectives are truly valued, not just tolerated. It's about forging connections that withstand challenges because they're built on truth, not performance. The next time you walk into a room, ask yourself, who am I sending in today? And am I ready to meet not just the representatives others send, but the extraordinary humans waiting to be discovered behind them? Your answer to that question just might change everything.